The 8 months-long occupation of Tigray by allied Ethiopian and Eritrean forces has led to the deaths of thousands of innocent civilians. Even after the retreat of the allied forces from much of Tigray, the Ethiopian government has imposed an all-encompassing siege on Tigray, blocking the entry of all essential items, including food and medical supplies.
The situation is serious. Nowhere in the world you would find a crisis like what you see in the northern part of Ethiopia, especially in Tigray. None. Nowhere in the world are we witnessing hell like in Tigray.
However, amidst a humanitarian catastrophe that has left more than 5 million people in need of urgent food assistance, more than 1.2 million displaced, and thousands dead, the chair of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, Berit Andersen, says that there is no right or wrong in the conflict in Tigray and describes the situation as complex.
The Nobel Committee making the statement we have made is not passing judgment on the war in Ethiopia, which ones of the parties are right or wrong.
The chair unfortunately fails to discuss the siege on Tigray that has blocked humanitarian assistance from reaching the millions in need, or the discontinuation of all basic services to the region, including banking, telecom, and power supplies, neglecting the failure of the Prime Minister to abide by the principles of international humanitarian law regarding collective punishment, and the responsibility to protect civilians during armed conflict. The chair says the Prime Minister was actually being held to higher standards by the committee due to his role as Nobel Peace Laureate.
What I am emphasizing is that carrying the Peace Prize is a very heavy cloak to carry, and it rests a certain responsibility on Prime Minister Abiy in contributing seriously to peace and entering negotiations instead of using military means only to solve the situation in his country.
The question of who deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and for which effort has always been controversial. Alfred Nobel, founder of the award, had stated that the prize should be awarded to the person who shall have done the most for fraternity between nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congress. But the Nobel Committee seems to have a new set of criteria for awarding the Nobel Peace Prize, specifically the interest of the Nobel Committee to remain relevant.
This is a question often placed to the Nobel Committee: have we given prizes too soon? I would like to reverse that question. If we were always sure of the outcome of a peace effort, the Nobel Peace Prize wouldn't have been as relevant as it in fact has been through 120 years.
The Nobel Committee, jumping the gun and awarding individuals that were yet to establish a meaningful process towards peace, has led to absurd outcomes, like an award to Kim Dae-jung for his efforts to reunite the divided Korean nations. But in countries like Ethiopia, the Nobel Committee's attempts at remaining relevant have had a dangerous outcome. Experts and international media, quoting former members, administration have reported how the award emboldened Abiy Ahmed. A professor of peace and conflict at the Jokens University College in Norway, Kjetil Trumbull, argues that the Nobel Prize emboldened Abiy to reform the internal political structure, which was the single most significant trigger for the war today. Trumbull also states that high-level party insiders have told him that in the negotiations to form a new prosperity party merging the previous EPRDF, he used the prize to basically say, "I have an international mandate to rule as I see fit." In a report by Addis Fortune on December 2019, Abiy Ahmed, in the days following the announcement of the merger, had threatened a group of Tigrayan business people that he would cut off flights into the region, suspend federal subsidies, and other public services if TPLF should choose not to merge. Threats his since made good on, clearly illustrating the prize had emboldened Abiy Ahmed and dissuaded international partners from posing questions when the Prime Minister chose to delay elections under the pretext of the corona pandemic. But the Nobel Committee has continued to stand by its decision, saying it could not have foreseen the future.
The committee stands behind the decision made in 2019 of rewarding the Peace Prize to Prime Minister Abiy, and on the basis, on the picture you painted so efficiently in your introduction. Since then, the situation has changed. There is a war in Ethiopia, and the Nobel laureate is very unprecedented participant in that war as a prime minister. And that is very unfortunate that a Peace Prize laureate is participating in a war, but we could not foresee this situation.
Now Sannai Belai, a political analyst, says the chair saying that the future was unpredictable is a clear indication that the chair was more concerned about salvaging the Nobel's reputation than playing a positive role to end the humanitarian catastrophe.
The Nobel Committee, they are trying to defend the irrational decision they made to give Abiy the Nobel Peace Prize. They are very much concerned about their institution's reputation rather than the crimes committed by Abiy against the people of Tigray. They don't want to take responsibility for their miscalculation and premature decision. The war on Tigray, or the Tigray genocide, was essentially predictable. It was not unpredictable. Someone has to be very naive to expect a development project from the alliance of Isaias and Abiy. It was a pact of war. One has to be politically ignorant, to my understanding, to expect a positive development from the alliance of dictators, Formaggio, Isaias, and Abiy.